Okay, and we are live. Catalan amigos, Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream at 7:30 p.m, the 12th of November, and we're going to go through some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press today here in Spain. Not really a lot going on as far as news diversity is concerned, because everything is focused on the one event at the moment, which is the famous amnesty between the central government and the Catalan separatist politicians, I should say. So that's dominating the press, but we'll try and find some other news as well. And then in the second half of the video, we'll go into the chat section, and we'll also have a look at some comments that have been left on videos in recent times also. So, straight into the news, and as I said, it's all about the right side of politics complaining about what's going on with the central government at the moment and those Catalan nationalist politicians. And as we can see here, hundreds of thousands of people attended rallies called by the PP against the amnesty today. Hundreds of thousands of people have attended rallies called by the PP to protest against the amnesty agreed between the PSOE and Catalan pro-independence parties as part of the agreements to ensure the investiture of Pedro Sánchez. The largest rally took place in Madrid's Puerta del Sol, where the leader of the PP, Alberto Núñez Feijóo, accused Sánchez of buying the presidency of the government in exchange for the judicial impunity of his partners, paid for with the taxes of the Spanish people. And as we can see here, thousands of people hitting the streets all around Spain. I think hundreds of thousands of people were quoted to have attended these rallies. Not sure which are the biggest participations around the country aside from Madrid. Madrid, I think, close to 100,000 people. But other cities around the country, as we saw there, also having these rallies today. And people, as we saw there, expressing their discontent with Mr. Sánchez and his agreements. And on the same topic, Feijóo, the leader of the Partido Popular, says that the majority against the amnesty is no longer silent and that they will protest until there are elections. Feijóo closed the rally in Madrid with 80,000 attendees, according to the figures from the government delegation, with a speech in which he also considered that the vote next week in which Sánchez is expected to be invested will mean the opposite of what was voted at the polls on the 23rd of July. The PP leader has lashed out at Sánchez for most of his speech, accusing him of lying and not changing his mind about the amnesty, which he supports because he needs to be invested. He makes his personal needs into problems for the Spanish people, his greed into immorality, and his selfishness into humiliation, said Mr. Feijóo. So some strong words there, but that side of politics, as we can see, promising to protest, rally, demonstrate against this amnesty until new elections are called. And no word on new elections from the PSOE or caretaker government, and most likely the new government in Spain as of the end of next week. We'll see, but that is what they have planned. So we'll see what happens there. But as we see, the right side of politics saying that they will be demonstrating until they get their way. So we'll see. And the demonstrations today in Madrid have carried on, as they have carried on in many parts of Spain, well into the evening. And I think even currently there are protests happening outside the headquarters of the PSOE political party in various cities around the country. So we'll see what happens there, and hopefully we won't get any more of those violent protests that have been taking place over the last week or so. Not overly violent, not as bad as some protests that have been held around the world, but rubbish containers being burnt, other things being damaged. So they are they do have a little bit of a violent streak, as we see. And another piece of news here about the Christmas lights and the obsession that one city in Spain, Vigo, has. And apparently they've won the competition for having the biggest Christmas tree, 44 metres high with a 19-metre star. The city of Vigo will be illuminated with millions of lights on Friday the 24th of November at 8:30 p.m, and the mayor, Abel Caballero, declared the Christmas lights of the planet will be switched on that day. This year, it is not only the more than 11.5 million LED lights that will illuminate 450 streets of the city that will attract attention. Much of the limelight has been stolen by the tree and the star. The reason? The tree measures a total of 44 metres and the star 19. Caballero, after attending the assembly of the tree in Puerta del Sol, boasted of having the tallest and most important tree in the world. In fact, the largest tree in the world is 73 metres high and is located in Sri Lanka, the largest Christmas tree, or the tallest Christmas tree that is. So again, Mr. Caballero not really coming forward with the truth there, claiming that Vigo has the biggest Christmas tree, the biggest lit Christmas tree in the world. Sri Lanka taking that title. So Vigo relegated to number 2, and this politician is obsessed with Christmas lights. Every year they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I presume that the majority of people in Vigo are in favour of this, but as we have seen in recent years, some people aren't. But Mr. Caballero carries on his merry way with these lights. And the final piece of news, and it's about the coastal law, and the city of Denia has mobilised against the robbery of the new coastal law, which could leave hundreds of neighbours homeless. The active survey for the demarcation of the beach on the north coast of Denia will affect 3,617 owners, 135 of whom face either demolition of their homes or the loss of ownership, even if the properties are not demolished. If they are not demolished, the owners could continue to enjoy their homes under the public domain for up to 30 years without receiving any financial compensation. Juanjo Jimenez, spokesman for the Association of Vecinos de los Deveses, is frankly against the measure. They don't take away your house, but you can't leave it to your grandchildren. And we can see a picture here of the houses in question, very close to the coast. And those are some of the 135 properties that have been issued an order of demolition. But as we can see here, maybe these people will be able to hold on to their homes for the next 30 years, but that will be it. No leaving your home to your grandkids. And that's what people are upset about down there in Denia. But as we saw, very, very close to the coast. So I'm not sure if those homes would last another 30 years, given some of the storms that we've seen in that part of Spain in recent years. So we'll see. First comment of the day from Desert Preacher. Demonstrations were not violent. There were people infiltrated who were violent and being expelled. It is very clear to see where your sympathies lie. To be objective, try to be objective at least, please, and say that they are being expelled by the vast majority of demonstrators. That's true. Within every demonstration, there is a small group that create violence, but they exist. And yes, to some part, those demonstrations the other day, or the demonstrations that have taken place around the Ferraz area, have been a little bit violent, or at least the images that I have seen on the television. As I said, rubbish containers being burnt, people smashing things as they walk past, and bad luck if you've got your car parked in that area when those people are moving through there. Yes, the majority are peaceful, but there's always a violent element in these crowds, unfortunately. I don't think it was seen today. I don't think any violent scenes were experienced today with the rallies around the country. But at night, a different element tends to come out, and things can be a little bit violent, especially when it comes to lighting flares and other things like that, which gives me the idea that perhaps they're football hooligans that are looking for a new place to play. Don't know. Another one here from Edmund. Hi, Stuart. Re your comment about Sunak being voted in. He was put in by the 1922 committee of the Tory party, not by the general voting population. Thanks, Edmund, for that. And I might have said that Mr. Sunak was elected, or at least his party was elected. And as Edmund points out here, this 1922 committee, which I believe is a group of backbenchers in that Tory party that basically decide who the leader of the party is and who isn't. And Mr. Sunak, apparently, according to Edmund, and most likely it is true, was put in by this 1922 committee. But again, I can't confirm that, so we'll have to take what Edmund says as truth there. But yeah, so I'm not sure what happens in the United Kingdom, whether people vote for an individual, like the person that's going to lead the party, or whether they vote for a party as a whole. I'm not sure. When you cast your vote, are you voting for the Tories or the Labour Party, or are you voting for the particular leader? I don't know. And if it is people voting for the party rather than the leader, then indeed it is still a sign of the system that these leaders can be replaced by people on the backbench or other people in the party, which is what happened there most likely. Another one here from Lee. I'm with you, Stu. I refuse to pay to enter a church or any other religious building. Keep up the great work. Yes, thanks, Lee, for that. I copped some flack or criticism in recent times, or I have copped some flack or criticism because of not paying to go in and see a church. I'm not interested, basically. I'm not there to visit a castle. I'll show people the castle from the outside, but I'm not willing to pay €9 to go inside the castle. And as I mentioned the other day, if you want to see a video of that castle, there are plenty online. People have taken the time to film the insides of the castle, to show people around, so there you go. And if you want to see it with your own eyes, jump on a plane, head to that part of the world and see it for yourself. Some type of bug flying around here. I'll move on. Another comment here from Tino. Most of the gun-related violence in Australia is perpetrated by criminal gangs amongst themselves. Luckily for us, there are very few killings by guns in the general population. That is true, Tino. In Australia, most of the gun violence is perpetrated by criminal gangs. They are the people that carry weapons, and they go about their day-to-days, obviously with their squabbles and problems that they have amongst themselves over different types of markets that they want to control, and it does end in gun violence. But in Australia, fortunately, mass shootings not an issue anymore. It was back in the day. One person, I think, went crazy with a gun back in the 1990s, I think it was. Not sure of the exact date. But since then, not a lot. And I will always say that a society without guns is a better society. Another one here from Jonathan, or John. I pack wine in my checked luggage. I wrap the bottles in plastic bags in bubble wrap. They always made it. I've never tried with olive oil. Yeah, this was a question that popped up the other day. Somebody asking the best way to travel or pack wine and olive oil and things like that. Plastic bottles, I think, was the query. We came to the conclusion that it is safe, but always good to take precautions there when travelling with bottles of liquid in your suitcase, to put them in bubble wrap, I think, as mentioned here, plastic bags, just in case. I have travelled many times to Australia with bottles of Spanish wine and olive oil, and sometimes I bought it at the duty-free before I go, sometimes at the supermarket before I go, but always in the bubble wrap, and with a fairly high level of wrapping, just in case. I normally wrap it inside a t-shirt as well, just to make sure that if it does break, it's going to be the damage is going to be limited. That's all I can say with that. And hopefully you get to the other end, especially with a long trip like the Australia trip, Madrid, Perth, for example, which is 20 plus hours. You hope that the product gets to the end of its destination in the one piece. Another one here from Larry. It's disgusting that a PP politician has been the victim of an attempted assassination. This is a very serious development. Hope the Guardia Civil soon catches the perpetrators and locks them up for a very long time. Yeah, we saw this the other day of a former PP politician, also a former Vox politician. He switched sides 2014, I think, not sure. Thought that the PP wasn't right-wing enough for him and decided to put his allegiance with the Vox political party. Don't think he's there anymore. And he was the victim of an assassination attempt the other day. Somebody shot him in the face. Apparently the bullet went in one side of his jaw and came out the other. And there are images of him on the internet just standing there in a pool with a pool of blood at his feet, waiting for the ambulances to arrive. Not sure exactly what's gone on. It's sort of been pushed out of the press, this story. It happened at a very strange time, and I think that's what caught a lot of people's attention. But the person himself, can't remember his name, I think his name was Alejo, somebody. He said that perhaps a Middle Eastern regime was behind the assassination attempt. Not going to mention the country here, but they are a very conflictive group of people in the Middle East. I'll leave it at that. And the final comment here from Brady, you didn't mention the digital nomad visa. As you mentioned, some people want to leave cities, and the DNV offers someone a chance to work remotely in a tranquil place. I wonder if any of these towns have sufficient internet access to support that. That's the question, isn't it, Brady? Do these places have sufficient internet access to support a digital nomad that maybe needs to upload big files or be in constant connection with the person's office or wherever they're working remotely from? They need to have those connections, right? And do these small towns offer that? Don't know. They also don't offer a lot of services. So you might need to travel to go to a doctor. You might need to travel to go to a supermarket if you miss the van that comes through with the fruit and veg every couple of days. Who knows? You might not be able to buy bread in some of these places. The local bakery might have shut down. And that's the issue, isn't it? So unless you can get some of these basic services, even if there is a good internet connection, I don't know whether they're an attractive place for digital nomads. I think digital nomads probably would like to have services close by, at least some of the ones that I've seen. And maybe if you can't get some of those basic services, you wouldn't consider going to these places. But nowadays, with the different types of internet connections that are available, you've got 4G and 5G available if you want a mobile access. I think Elon Musk's Starlink is also available in Spain, so you could probably set that up if you wanted to get a satellite internet connection. So there are possibilities, but again, do they have all of the services that a digital nomad or a person looking for this DNV visa would like? I don't know. But if you are living remotely in Spain, let us know. Let us know what the internet connection is like where you live. Now, I'm going to change the backdrop. This one was sent in by Gigi, the Camino de Santiago expert, and it is a sunset over a place in Coruña called Muxía, on the outskirts of Coruña, I believe. Muxía. I'll just get out of the way so you can see the sunset. There we go. So a nice sunset there sent in by Gigi. And the address, if you've got a similar picture to send through as this one here, spainspeaks@gmail.com, feel free, send your pictures through to that email address. And also if you've got a piece of news that you would like to bring to my attention as well, that is the email address, feel free. I'm also going to put the like button up on the screen. If you haven't hit the like button yet, we're currently at 46 thumbs up. We've got a couple of thumbs down, so thanks for that. What else? So if you hit the like button, maybe like number 50, 51, 52 you could be. And the people that have supported the channel in recent times, wrong button, whether it's through the super thanks, super chat, buying me a coffee, always comes in handy, or the longer term supporters on Patreon, you can also support the channel through those means. Now, into the chat section I'm going to go with this backdrop here. I'll just get rid of the email address, and let's see if I can find the first comment here. First one from Morris. Hello everybody, says Morris. Good to see you, Morris, in the chat today. Hill coming in, beautiful sunny weather this weekend and 23 degrees here in Benissa. Not normal, of course. We haven't had rain for so long, and that is desperately needed. Yeah, also very good weather here in Madrid this weekend. Yesterday a little bit windy, but today a fantastic day for the 12th of November, I will say. When you're able to sit outside and have lunch, it's a good weather day. It's a good weather day. Barbara coming in from Playa Flamenca. Lovely sunny day there. Temperature reaching 27 degrees. Not bad for mid-November. Absolutely. 27 degrees Celsius, mid-November. Minnesota. Roland coming in. Wishing regards from there. Frank coming in from a cold Crawley in the United Kingdom. Good to see you, Frank. Tony also coming in from a cold UK. Ashford to be exact. Janet coming in from Oxford, saying hello to everyone. Stephen's back in the cold after a week in Torrevieja, where the weather was fantastic. Enjoyed my last town visit. video. Thanks, Stephen, for that. I enjoy these town visits. I'm going to say I enjoy walking around these towns. Not a lot of life. Maybe it's the time that I visit, but I'm not going there at 6 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. I'm going there around midday. And there's not a lot of people out and about, I will say. So maybe I'll hit a town soon that does have a more active population. Amanda coming in from Shropshire, chilly there too. Jane coming in, like number 12. 12th is Jane's birthday. Happy birthday, Jane, the 12th of November. Number 12, like, and a birthday today for Jane. So wishing you well. Hope you are having a great day. Coming in from the States, I imagine you're a few hours behind. John coming in from England, going to miss the live tonight, but we'll catch up later. Have a great week. Thanks, John, for that. Madrid correspondent Dave, happy Sunday, Stu y todos. What a beautiful day. Absolutely enjoyed the sunshine and warm breeze, as did 100,000 people that hit the streets, Dave, to protest today. Just before the aperitivo, they were out and about, and obviously no doubt the bars and restaurants after that were very, very busy in many parts of Madrid. Johnny's saying that life is amazing. WT fudge, people actually poison trees. I'm trying to understand this barbaric rationale. Trees can lower the temperature 46 degrees during those scorching months. Yeah, this is something that I mentioned the other day, Johnny, right? That unfortunately a tree very close to where I live seems to be constantly being poisoned. They come and plant a new tree every year because it's very close to somebody's pool, and the person doesn't want leaves falling into his pool, I don't think. So the tree, just saying that's most likely what happens, considering that the tree doesn't have much luck. I imagine that's what happens, and people have told me that tree poisoning is a problem, and you would be surprised how many people don't like trees, Johnny. I personally do. I think trees make a good garden, but a lot of people don't like trees for various reasons. For the rubbish that they create, for the roots that might give you some issues down the line. Various reasons people don't like trees. Alan can't join the party. Have house guests from the US. Erica, coolish terraza. 1 week before water restrictions and still no rain. Hope everyone is fine. Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it, Erica? No rain. Jonathan coming in from Punta del Este in Uruguay. We saw a comment from Jonathan earlier. Thanks for tuning in, John. Ken coming in from a cold and wet Greater Manchester on Remembrance Sunday. There we go, the 12th of the 12th, Remembrance Sunday. Pamela coming in from San Juan de los Terreros, also down there in the Valencian community, I think. Patrick coming in from a sunny Caspe. So sunny in lots of places. Fee coming in. We saw one of Fee's pictures on the backdrop last week. Hoping all is well with myself and everyone. Thanks, Fee, for that. Ross coming in from Valencia after a gorgeous September. No, I mean November. That's right. You can easily be confused, right? Ross, with the weather at the moment, wonder what month you are in when it is 26 degrees Celsius. Weekly fireworks down there because you're living in the place with the most firework fanatics, the Valencian community. Pete, Super Chat, $5. Thanks, Pete. Happy birthday to my beautiful and extremely talented wife, Jane, a nationally recognised art and design instructor. This fly is annoying me here. Thanks, Pete, for that. We saw Jane in the comment section before, so a big happy birthday to Jane. In that honour, and one of the favourite high school songs, Boogie with Stu, here we are to boogie with. Thanks, Pete, for that. I hope you guys have a great day. Johnny, interesting, what's this, about trees again? Interesting what people will protest against and while they ignore the more important problems like their economy. It reminds me of US politics. Yes, Feliz Cumpleaños Jane from Ross. There we go. So Jane getting some birthday wishes. Liz coming in from Madrid, feeling a little concerned with what's going on here in Spain. And obviously some emoji there that I can't see here. But yeah, Liz, a lot of people are a little bit worried with what's going on. especially with the way Mr. Sanchez is handling things. Not happy. And it's not every day of the week you get hundreds of thousands of people hitting the streets to vent their anger, let's say. Are there different rules for the second election, or would we wind up with the same situation? Yes, Dave, the simple answer is yes. There's a high chance that you would end up with exactly the same situation. A very high chance. What else we've got going on here? Alan, it's all gone quiet here in the UK on the idea of Scottish independence. Best thing that happened was Jimmy Crankle, Nicola Sturgeon, getting rumbled for corruption and having to resign. There we go. The former, what was she, the First Minister or something in Scotland, was she? Yes, no longer there, that's it. Ken, fine, thanks. After spending 6 weeks in Oliva and taking some time to get used to back to the cold weather. That's it. I imagine that's the case, right? Harlequin says that they can see where the right are coming from. Now, they're the biggest party by some distance, but they are sidelined by a ragtag gaggle of leftist parties that usually don't get on. A recipe for chaos. Yes, very chaotic. Absolutely. Joe saying that Puigdemont needs to go to jail. He attempted a failed coup. Belgium needs to be held accountable for housing this criminal. Yeah, that's what a lot of people can't understand, isn't it? How this man can just live freely in Belgium whilst being a criminal in Spain. Nobody understands it. Nobody understands it. But anyway, we'll move on. Andrew coming in from a cold and miserable London southeast, hoping that we are well. Thanks for that. Pete saying that his cousin and his wife were in a ground-level apartment in Javier, which was completely destroyed in Storm Gloria, including all of their personal belongings. Pioneer rocker from the early 60s lost. Yeah, that's the issue with that. When those storms pass through, right? Javier, coastal city. Flattergirl coming in from a sunny but chilly Toronto. I suspect Puigdemont will need security around him when he returns. I don't know. I think he has security around him all the time, because there was even protests in Brussels today, and the PSOE party in Brussels was the victim of some type of some type of damage. People graffitiing the walls and throwing things at it. So Mr. Puigdemont, not far from Brussels in Waterloo. So obviously he would need security there also, I would think. Janet saying that the party members vote for the leader of the party and they become PM. No one stood against Sunak after the Truss premiership went belly up. There we go. Now, I remember, Liz Truss. What was she there for, about a month? Not long. Stupid question. Where do people write comments? Facebook or Gmail? What do you mean? On the YouTube channel, Johnny. Gigi, greetings from a sunny California. Gigi's the author of this photo behind me here of the sunset. Spain seems to have a propensity for demonstrations. It's not just your perception, Gigi. That is absolutely right. People love to hit the streets. There's always somebody unhappy with something here. Always. Doesn't matter. There's always somebody unhappy with something. They got people, I don't know, maybe they organise their weekends around demonstrations, some people. They vote for a party in the UK, but when there is a charismatic person leading, it can sway people. We don't have a presidential system. There we go. That's what I thought. Starlink is now cost efficient and super fast. Yes, and it's available in Spain. Not sure how much it costs, but I saw on a map today that it is available. Spain is one of the countries where you can get that. Rory coming in also here, 25 degrees in Mallorca, reminds himself just how lucky he is to be living there. Hope we have a good weekend. Thanks, Rory, for that. What else? Ricardo. Good evening, Stuart, from North London. Been catching up with the streams, but haven't been around to see the lives. but back now, hopefully. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Ricardo. Good to see you back. What else? Let's have a look. Bill, overcast and cold in Atlanta, Georgia today. Thanks, Bill, for that. I caught up with Bill the other day. We had lunch. Good to catch up with Bill. Got back to Atlanta, Georgia, obviously. Good to see you, Bill. Dale coming in from Conil this weekend. This morning was sunbathing weather. Corey, beautiful day in Villajoyosa. What else? JC, 2 amazingly warm days in Hastings, UK. There we go. But now cold and wet from what I'm reading. Heidi escaped Madrid for the Puente. Weather, as always, was changeable. But when it was good, it was amazing. Yeah, there was a public holiday the other day in Madrid. Only Madrid, I think. And a lot of people escaped for the weekend. A lot of people coming back for Sunday to protest too. 1, 2, 3, Sean Away coming in from Ireland, County Waterford. Strangely warm for November. Waiting for another storm. Going on red alert for some parts. There we go. Kev, back in the UK from a week villa hunting yesterday. 26 degrees there, out here in Spain. 8 degrees at Gatwick and wet. Yeah, that's the difference, isn't it, Kev? So good luck with your villa hunt. Let us know where you're looking. Let us know. Paul saying hello. Good day, Paul. Back from sunny Calpe and back in a cold Ringwood. Ringwood, England, I think. What else? Let's have a look here. Let me see if I can get to the end of the chat. Warren coming in from San Antonio, Texas. What else? Let's see. Kirk coming in from Southwest Florida. 30 degrees Celsius there. Feels like 34. Erica says Puigdemont is living in the Flemish part of Belgium and is protected by the right-wing extremist Flemish leader and helped by the Catalan business leader who pays for his rent in Waterloo. An easy life. There we go. Thanks for summing that up, Erica, telling us what the situation is there. How likely is Spain to prohibit gasoline-powered cars? Well, it will depend on the European Union, but well, I don't know how far away it is, but I think there is talk about it for, I think they were talking 2035 or something like that, but I'm not sure whether that is feasible or not. Iggy coming in from a relatively warm Jaén and a gorgeous background, says Iggy too. Now, that's the end of the chat, so time to wrap the live stream up. I'll be back again tomorrow with another live stream. We'll see how the demonstrations play out tonight. Whether they get out of hand or not, let's hope that they don't. As I said, back again tomorrow. Hasta luego, hasta entonces, adios, and thanks for watching this evening's live stream. Bye-bye.